The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. When there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit. Let's be stronger together, my fellow Americans.
Hello, you are listening to Hillary Planet Podcast. It is September 26, 2017. I'm your host, Enzo Quesada, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Bobby Hester.
Hello, everybody.
Isn't stuff going so great right now in the Hillary administration right now, Bobby?
Enzo, things are going better than ever.
I didn't think it could be this good.
It's so fantastic.
There's improvements every single week. She's doing new stuff. You know, last time we were talking on the show, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And now it's even better, and I can't believe it.
And we're going to get to all of those stories in this podcast.
Yeah.
So you keep listening, and you are going to hear all the good things.
Most definitely. I think we need to start out with the obvious, and that's the situation of the war. Because, you know, if you haven't heard, we've been drafted, so...
We got drafted a while back, too. It was like right after we did the first podcast.
Yeah.
Like the week later, our draft cards came in the mail.
It was pretty unexpected, but I mean... We had to go. Hillary said it was time to go, and, you know, I don't know, we're at war.
I know, they sent us to Fort Benning for like 3 weeks, and then we went off.
It was, really hard when we were training, but we just hid most of the time.
I was scared. They were, yelling at me the entire time.
They just sent us out anyways, so it didn't even matter if we tried hard.
Apparently, they said it was, an expedited wartime battle. They only taught you the basics of, warfighting and stuff, and they figured that everything else you'll learn later because that's not important.
I shot a gun. It was... At least I got to shoot it before I went and fight. Because there was a lot of people shooting guns.
We never got to shoot ours in basic training.
Really?
Yeah, it was that we were supposed to, but they really, really needed us, so they just sent us off. And they said that we'll get trained when we got there. Well, when I got to the front lines, they just handed me the rifle and said, go. I didn't know what to do with it. And I did get to fire it too, but it was in battle. It was scary.
I'm glad I got to train then, because man, dude, I was so afraid the first time I shot a gun. It was intense. That's why it's so great that Hillary banned them, because I couldn't imagine having those things in public.
I know, why would a country ever let people do these things? I mean, they gave me a pistol and a rifle, and I was like, whoa, and these things were heavy.
Yeah.
So I had to carry this stuff around everywhere, okay? I had the pistol on my hip, and apparently... there's a safety on it. I didn't figure that out until later.
Yeah.
Because we were in battle and I tripped and fell and it went off.
Whoa.
And it didn't hit anybody, but there's a hole in my leg now. And so every time we're in the snow, the snow gets in there and my leg gets cold.
We might need to preface for the people listening. So you're in Alaska. Well, you went to the Alaskan front.
I was fighting on the Alaskan front. Because if you remember in the last podcast, we were talking about how Russia invaded Alaska to try to get Alaska back on the second front because we were fighting Syria and Alaska at the same time. And I
went to Syria.
And you're still in Syria, right?
I am in Syria.
Okay.
I'm near the Israeli border.
Yeah, see, I was in Alaska, but we'll get to why I'm not technically still there now. Should we just go ahead and let me read this article?
Yeah, let's go into the war.
All right, so the first article we have is titled, U.S. Troops Pushed into Canada. The war against Russia on the Alaskan front turned sour for America as Russian troops continued to be pushed eastward. The front lines of war officially crossed into Canada as U.S. troops fled and were surrounded to the west and the south by Russian military personnel. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who I love, he's amazing, had hoped that the war would not spill across the border, but his wishes have not come true. Over 23,000 American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines have been killed so far in the fighting in Alaska. Russia estimates that they've lost only 20,000, citing their natural ability to survive in the cold as a factor.
So, Alaska, hasn't been so great, but that went to Trump anyways. Was it important that we had Alaska?
No.
What's
there in Alaska? There's, literally, I don't know why we're fighting up here. Okay, Russia came in, and they sent us here.
Yeah.
There was literally nothing here but snow and mountains and forests. I did see an elk. That was actually pretty cool. I'm going to give credit for that. I saw elk. Those things are cool. They're big. They're big. But, but the reason why I'm in Canada right now is because they pushed us into Canada, and we were actually pinned down by the Russian troops. They were shooting at us.
Yeah.
And our lieutenant, who was in our unit, his name was Lieutenant Jimmy. That's what we nicknamed him, at least. I'm not sure what his last name was because he got in the fire and his name tag burned off, so we didn't know what to call him.
Oh.
Because our old lieutenant, he got shot and killed, so they sent a new guy, but he didn't have a name tag, so we were just like, hey, what's your name? And he said Jimmy, so we called him Lieutenant Jimmy.
I mean, the way casualties have been going, do you really get to know anyone's last name?
No,
not really.
But anyways, our unit got pinned down, and Lieutenant Jimmy, he got shot, and so we all started running, and I just kept running and running and running. It was like Forrest Gump. Okay, I just kept running.
Yeah.
And eventually, I made my way to a city that I'm in right now. I don't want to, dox my location, but I'm currently in Whitehorse. You might have heard of it. It's in the Yukon Territory, because apparently, Canada has states too, apparently.
That's pretty... I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know either, but I found this abandoned shack. It's like a log cabin kind of thing. I came in there, and there was, fish, and there was a deer head, and, it had electricity and internet access for some reason.
That's pretty cool.
And I had my laptop in my bag. So I just plugged it in and boom, I had access to everything. So I don't know where the guy is or the woman, or I don't want to assume anyone's gender, who owns this building that I'm in. But it's pretty cool. I got to say. I have enough food to last here a while. So hopefully the Russians don't find me, but I should be good.
So you're not going to fight anymore?
Why should I? I mean, here's the thing. I will totally fight, but I lost my radio.
Yeah.
And I lost my CB communicator. And so I have no way of contacting anyone. So I'm just going to wait here till they find me and then tell me what to do. Because, it's bad to, leave all my fellow comrades behind.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But, I don't want to go out there. There's, Russians out there. They might kill me.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So, I'm just going to stay here until my guys get me, and then I'm good.
They probably noticed that you're gone anyways.
I mean, I don't know. We've had a lot of deaths in our units, and they might think I'm dead.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're going to run in, once they push back enough, you'll run into them anyways.
I mean, I heard that the U.S. troops were getting reinforcements, next Saturday.
Yeah.
So that might push the Russians back. And if so, then they'll definitely find me. So, I mean, we're going to win this thing, okay?
Yeah,
we
of
need
course.
Alaska, because Alaska is, important, I think. So we're going to win this, I mean, I saw the map, okay? I saw the map. They said that Russia completely controls all of Alaska except for the tiny little islands that are by Juneau. You know, the ones that's why do we have this? Those we still got. But the rest of it we don't got. And we got to take it back, okay? That's our number one priority.
I mean, if you really didn't want to fight, you could just stay in Canada. Trudeau's the president there.
That's true. Trudeau is really, really cool.
Or do they have prime ministers? I don't even know. I'm not a Canadian.
He's a prime minister.
Okay, prime minister.
I learned that because I asked one of the Canadian people here, and he said, he's a prime minister, eh? So that's how I knew it was the truth.
Well, yeah, he's pretty good too.
He's my favorite person besides Hillary Clinton and Angela Merkel, and third is Justin Trudeau.
That's a pretty good top three.
I know, right? I love Justin Trudeau so much.
You could be a refugee to Canada.
I could,
They have an open refugee policy. You just need to apply.
Yeah, there's only one problem with that.
What?
I don't got a car, and Whitehorse is a long way from, the closest major city. So, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you'll figure it out later.
I'll figure it out. It's not important. Let's keep moving on.
Yeah, let's move on.
I'm going to read the next article, which talks about the war you're in, and then you can tell your story.
Yeah.
So the next article is titled, U.S. Troops Pushed to Israeli Border. U.S. troops fighting against Russia in Syria have been pushed back by Russian forces to the Israeli border. This comes as the combined death toll in Syria topped 200,000 for the first time. As troops were pushed back, they ran into the newly renovated and expanded West Bank barrier, which Israel was able to build with the $5 billion they received in foreign aid from the United States this year. Israel, however, has not allowed the U.S. troops to go through the wall, saying that they want to keep the war outside of their own country. The West Bank barrier now surrounds the entire northeastern border of Israel and Syria. Russian troops have promised not to launch any airstrikes over Israeli territory, but President Clinton vows to keep fighting until the U.S. recaptures Syria and removes all Russian forces from the country. Israel also stated that they do not want to send any of their own troops to fight, citing past examples of a rise in Palestinian violence whenever Israel's military stops focusing their attention on West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
So, yeah, I'm currently in Syria. You're in Canada. It's very cold. And it's kind of funny because I'm in Syria. It's really hot. Who would have thought?
Which is funny because, like, you're from Wisconsin and it's cold there.
Yeah.
And I'm from Texas and it's hot here.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess that means we're, like, evened out, right? Like, balanced?
Like, we're both, like, encumbered.
It's like a yin-yang.
Yin-yang.
Yin-yang. You know the yin-yang, the Chinese thing? With the white and the black and the dots? It's just like that. Except, like, I'm the black and... Or no, I'm more white than you are.
You're
so
white.
You're the black and I'm the white.
Yeah.
But I've got the black dot of cold and you've got the white dot of hot.
Yeah, like a yin-yang.
Yeah,
So I'm
yin-yang.
in Syria, and, you know, there's been a lot of fighting here. The fighting actually here predates the Alaska stuff.
Oh, yeah, we were
Like,
in there way before Alaska.
Way before. So, you know...
That's why the death toll's higher.
I've already been in a lot of battles already, and I gotta tell you, it gets really scary. You know, they got, like, mujahideen, and, like, you know, they drop barrel bombs, the Syrian army. It's, like, super scary, but I figured out a tactic to, like, survive all the battles, actually.
Really? What'd you do?
Every single time, like, we're about to go in, you know, and, like, the commander's like, you guys gotta get ready, we're about to go back in, fucking man up. I just... You know, I let them run first out, and then, like, I just play dead.
Really?
I play dead. Like, every single time. Like,
That's a
we're about
really
to
good
go.
idea.
I play dead, and I just wait till the battle's done. And, like, I have to close my ears because, like, the artillery and bullets are really loud.
Yeah,
and, like,
it is loud.
There's a lot of explosions. It's really scary. You know, I've still almost died, and I was playing dead. But I'm still alive, and I've been through over 25 battles at this point.
Wow, Enzo.
I'm a veteran.
You've been more battles than I have.
I
Shoot,
know.
I've only been in like 6.
I'm a huge military veteran. I was in over 25 battles.
I'm gonna salute you right now.
Yeah.
I just saluted him because it's a podcast, not a video one.
So
saluted him.
I guess I'll update y'all on my situation out here in Syria. So as I said before, I'm not too far from the Israeli border. The Israeli government is providing us with Wi-Fi out to our bases, so they are helping, you know, in some sense. They are our greatest ally. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's true.
But, I don't know. I haven't had to go to a battle in the last couple days. I've just been in the little tent barracks we have. I've been, you know, Skyping with my girlfriend, which, I mean, no one knows about the girlfriend now. I mean, might as well talk about that a bit.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Tell her about it.
So, before I shipped out, I got a girlfriend. We met on Tinder, and it's pretty serious. Her name is Amy Horowitz, and, like, you know, some things in life just go perfect for you, you know? Like, I love Amy Schumer, and Amy Horowitz is a lot like Amy Schumer. She looks very like her, so, like, and she behaves similarly to her, so it's almost like I'm dating Amy Schumer.
Wow.
But it's not Amy Schumer. But it's very similar. So my life is pretty good, you know? That's why I can't die in a battle. Because, like, I have something to go back to. And, like...
Well, I was actually thinking, you know, like, if you're dating Amy Horowitz, like, you're right there by Israel, right?
Yeah.
And Horowitz, that's a Jewish name, right?
It is.
And both Amy Schumer and Horowitz are both Jewish. Couldn't she just go to Israel and then you'd be right there? And then you'd be able to reunite with her?
Right? I mean, yeah, she could go back to Israel if she wants to, but she has a black son.
Oh. Okay.
So he wouldn't have citizenship to Israel because he's not ethnically Jewish.
Right.
So he wouldn't be able to use the law of return, but she would. So, I mean, it's easier for her to come out to Israel because, like, the government will subsidize trips out for her, but she can't get her son Jamal to be able to stay in Israel, which would be great.
Sucks.
I mean, the three of us could live in Israel, and I could take care of her and Jamal. That'd be great. But I don't know. I guess we just got to wait back. We got to figure out this America situation because, I mean, we'll get into it later, but we obviously can't go back to Texas.
Well, I tried to use my Tinder up here, but, like, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. I can't find anybody.
It's tough, dude. Love is a battlefield, and I'm in a battlefield right now, and I found love, and I don't know, I wouldn't recommend finding a battlefield, but just keep fighting your battles and love will find you.
That's some really good relationship advice, Enzo.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I guess with that being said, should we move on to the next news?
Yeah, let's get into the rest of the news. That's the war update.
So, the next thing we have is the national Wi-Fi system was installed. We were using this before we left.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, I had said that when I got to this log cabin that I'm staying in right now, it had internet access. That's because he has a satellite dish that is receiving the U.S.'s signal from Alaska.
Really?
Yeah, so, I'm still able to use it in Canada. It's freaking amazing.
You're using American nationalized Wi-Fi in Canada.
Yeah.
Man, I have to use Israeli Wi-Fi, but get into the story.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay. Quote, access to the internet is a human right, said President Clinton this evening.
That's a true statement.
It is a true statement. We need to make sure that every American, no matter who they are, can log on and log in from their devices. That's what she said. Now, it says, President Clinton signed into law the National Wi-Fi System Act passed last week by Congress. The law, which is written and championed by Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook and new Secretary of Communications and Internet Affairs, allows for the installation of over 6 million new hotspots across the country in all areas, covering every square inch of land with internet speeds up to 2 megabytes per second. As a condition, however, there are heavy penalties for hate speech being used over this device. Police and National Guard units have already been sent to thousands of homes across the country to confront and arrest people who have violated the policy. The national Wi-Fi system also has placed a block on conservative websites such as Breitbart and Fox News. The crackdown on racist and conservative speech on social media websites such as Facebook and Twitter has also begun as a condition on usage for the system.
So, really great stuff. Hill Dog does it again. I can't stop winning with this presidency. Wi-Fi is everywhere, even in Canada.
Yeah.
Not in Syria, but that's okay.
It's even better because, we're finally going after hate speech, okay?
Yes.
Hate speech is not free speech.
It is not free speech.
Not free speech.
We've said this a million times in the show.
And so, people that are, tweeting out, Nazi things.
Yeah.
And posting, statuses on Facebook about how they don't like African Americans, that cannot be something that we allow. So I am very, very glad that we are finally using this to go after those people, because those are the people that are destroying this country from its core, okay? And, yeah.
Like a big problem in this country is fake news, and, Breitbart and Fox News are fake news.
Yeah.
So we're actually, making democracy safe by getting rid of them. Because fake news is a subversion of democracy, and we wouldn't want our democracy subverted. So we gotta censor it. We can't let it be out there. I mean, it encourages people to be racist and sexist and homophobic. It has to go.
We are past the days of racism and sexism and homophobia and Islamophobia and bigotry and hatred, okay? Those are in the past, okay? We are looking towards the future, okay? And the future is female and bright, all right? That's what Hillary told me in her last speech I listened to.
And the future also has Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Because we're all connected, because we're part of a global community. We're global citizens, We're in different countries, but we're still treated nice because Hillary is treating the rest of the world so nice.
Yeah. You know how they have those new refrigerators that have Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
That automatically order your food when it realizes that you're getting low?
Yeah.
The guy here has one of those in his log cabin.
Really?
Yeah, and I was running low on...
Doesn't, Amazon sell those, or...?
Yeah, Amazon has their drone delivery.
Oh,
That's
man.
how they do it. They just drop the box in front and, it rings the doorbell for you. It's awesome.
It even works in the Yukon?
Yeah. Because Amazon said they want to deliver all the world.
Man, the technology's getting so good.
I know, and
I don't think we'd be able to get it in Syria though. The war zone's really bad.
They got really the no-fly zone there too, so the Amazon drones wouldn't be able to go.
They'd probably.
But in Canada, we don't have the no-fly zone here, so they can.
There are drones out there, but they're mainly Russian drones. So I don't think the Amazon drone's gonna get here.
No, but anyways, I was gonna say that I ran out of Pepsi the other day.
Yeah.
So it automatically ordered me new Pepsi. And the Amazon system said it would be here this afternoon. So hopefully I'll be getting my Pepsi.
Well, that's pretty cool. Just having free Wi-Fi everywhere is pretty cool. So I don't have anything else to say. Do you want to move on?
Let's move on. Okay, so the next story we have is Clinton signs executive order to remove founding father statues. Following an executive order signed earlier this year, which was to remove all Confederate monuments across the country, which we reported on that
We
story.
talked about this.
Yeah. President Clinton signed an executive order to remove the statues and monuments of the founding fathers. The Founding Fathers, Clinton argued, contributed to white supremacy because men like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. Instead of going person by person, the White House said that all of the Founding Fathers, whether they owned slaves or not, helped to contribute to racism and discrimination and therefore deserve to be removed.
See, this is just common sense and common decency. Like Thomas Jefferson, he had slaves. He raped his slaves. He raped his slaves. We can't have statues of that. That's messed up. Yeah. Imagine if you're a black person and African American person. I'm sorry that I microaggress. Sometimes I have the black son and I have the African American son. There, I did it again. But say you're an African American person and you see one of these statues, and it reminds you of the times when white men used to rape people that look just like you.
Yeah.
And there was no repercussions. That's why we need to destroy it. It's reminding people of those times. That's white supremacy. That's how it works.
And I'm glad that we're getting rid of white supremacy once and for all, because that stuff cannot stand either.
Bobby, do you have, a statue you want to see taken down the most?
Yeah. Yes, I do. There was one statue for sure that I want to see taken down. It's technically not really a statue, but it's like multiple statues.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. It's got all the racist white people on there.
I don't know who's on Mount Rushmore.
It's got George Washington and Thomas Jefferson are both on there.
Oh, God. That's a really racist monument.
Yeah. It's also got Teddy Roosevelt. And he, forced the Panamanians to be slaves in order to build the Panama Canal.
Whoa!
And he, invaded Cuba and killed other Latinos in Cuba.
You mean the Latinxes?
I'm sorry, my microaggressions.
You microaggressed. We're working on this. We're white males. We're trying. We are white males. We're sorry, but we're working on this.
We are trying, okay?
We're very sorry.
It's also got Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That guy.
And you remember what his quote was?
What was his quote?
He said that if he could keep the Union together without freeing a single slave, he would do it. So he didn't even care about freeing the slaves. That's the truth. He didn't care at all about freeing the slaves. He only did it because it was good for the war effort, okay? So, Abraham Lincoln, he got to go. So, that has all four of those white supremacist terrorists on there. They need to go. And they're white males, too. So it's, really, really sexist as well. So they got to go. So we should blow up Mount Rushmore. I'm not saying I should do it. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying
I think the government should do it.
The government should.
Hillary Clinton needs to get on this.
Yeah, because if anything, if you don't want to use explosives because that would be loud, just use chisels. Okay, that's how they built it the first time. That's all they got to do, right?
If I had a monument destroyed, I'd want what do you call that wall they have with the names in Washington D.C. of all the people that fought in wars and stuff?
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial?
Yeah, I want to destroy that one.
Yeah,
because that's a symbol of white supremacist imperialism.
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam. We were sending our white soldiers to go stop the yellow people, or I'm micro-guessing, the Vietnamese people.
There you go.
White supremacy. It's invasive in who we are as white males. White supremacy. That's why we need to call it microaggressions.
Yes.
So the Vietnamese people, we stopped them from making communism. They're going to live in complete peace and harmony, and we sent white soldiers to stop, and we killed hundreds of thousands of them. And that's why we need to destroy the memory of every single white racist we sent over there to do their imperialistic duties to the country. Because the country was just racist at the time.
And also the Washington Monument, because it's named after George Washington.
That should go.
Or at least we should rename it, because I know that's really, really big.
Yeah.
So, at least rename it to something else.
George Washington Carver Monument.
Yes.
That would be way better.
He was the peanut butter guy, right?
Yeah, that's very important.
I like peanut butter.
One of the best culinary, gifts that the African Americans ever gave us.
I know, when people those racist white people are always what have the black, well, they say black, he was African.
Yes.
What have the black people ever done? And I say, have you not had peanut butter?
Have you not had peanut butter?
Have you not had peanut butter, okay? That alone disproves their entire argument.
It's so stupid. They're so bigoted.
Yeah.
Racist.
Yeah. So,
yeah, there's a lot of statues that need to be taken down, a lot of monuments that need to be taken down, but at least we're getting rid of some of the white supremacy, and we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And like we said with ourselves, we're going to get the white supremacy out of ourselves, so I can't imagine how we're going to get the rest of the country in time. We're still working on it.
Yeah. Well, we're also yeah. You want to move on to the next thing then?
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing, and this one came about just in the last week. Okay, this is like super new news.
Yes.
People must now kneel for the national anthem. President Clinton signed an executive order changing the U.S. flag code regarding what people should do during the playing of the national anthem. Under the new order, every person must kneel down and may no longer place their hand over their heart. Members of the military, police, and uniformed personnel, however, must also salute the flag while they're kneeled down. So, like, they still got to salute it, okay?
We would have to salute.
Yeah, so we still got to salute it. Like,
yeah.
This is referring to, like, regular, like, everyday peoples and stuff.
Okay.
The idea for this new executive order comes from the protest by football quarterback Colin Kaepernick during the last few NFL seasons. This order was, however, here's the next part of the story. This order has brought about a massive sports controversy as a group of mainly white NFL, MLB, and NBA players have said that they still want to stand and place their hand over their heart, which was the American tradition for the last 200 years. This has led to a decline in NFL viewership as people wish to no longer watch the games due to the protests of players while the national anthem plays before the start of games. The NFL is expected to lose over $200 million in revenue this season due to the decline in viewership. This is the part that I find really interesting. I think this part is fake news, but like it's really true at the same time.
Okay.
It says, a leaked audio clip from the White House appears to feature President Clinton referring to the white NFL players as, quote, racist sons of bitches who need to, quote, check their privilege and quit the league so that they can be replaced by more diverse players.
I mean, maybe she said that, maybe she didn't, but I would say that.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Like, we were just talking about white supremacy.
Uh-huh.
Like, a symbol of white supremacy is standing and pledging allegiance with your hand over your heart.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for centuries, we've been forcing disenfranchised minorities to have to stand and pledge allegiance to a flag that oppressed them. That oppressed them even in their own homelands through imperialism, like what we did to Puerto Rico or Guam or Hawaii. So we need to get rid of that. We need to dismantle this, heteronormative, capitalistic, hegemonic, white supremacist patriarchy. And to do that, we need to dismantle the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, we do.
By kneeling.
Well, that's the national anthem, but I agree. It should be extended to the Pledge of Allegiance, too.
I get them mixed up. I'm not a patriotic person. I don't feel a connection really to, like, any country in particular. I'm only down with America because Clinton's president. But, I mean, if Trump is president, we're going to go to Canada. Yeah. You're there already.
I am already there. Anyways, but seriously, what kind of nerve do these white sports players
full of toxic masculinity
to think that they can just disobey the rules like this, okay? They are the reason people are stopping watching these games.
Yeah.
They don't want to see people protesting the national anthem, okay? The national anthem is a symbol of unity, and we are supposed to all kneel, and we're not supposed to stand and place our hand over our heart. People don't want to see that anymore.
If I was the owner, I would fire that son of a bitch.
I would fire that racist son of a bitch.
That racist son of a bitch.
According to the leak.
According to the leak. We would fire that racist son of a bitch who needs to check his privilege. Because guess what? The NFL is lacking in diversity.
Yes.
There are way too many white quarterbacks, white kickers, white punters, white centers.
Yeah.
We need diversity.
Yeah.
Not white supremacy.
You know how many African-American quarterbacks there are in the league?
How many?
3. You know how many football teams there are?
How
32.
many? I don't know anything about football.
I mean, I come from a family that used to watch it, so I just kind of know this stuff.
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
I'm not saying that I watch it. I'm just saying, like, I know this stuff, right?
It's good you did research. I don't know anything.
You know how many of the 32 teams have white quarterbacks?
How many?
26.
That's a lot of white quarterbacks.
Yeah, so that's 26. And when I say 3 were African-American, that's 29. The other 3, I think they said that 2 are Latinx, and 1 was like, I think he said he was like Native American, but mixed with some like Korean, I think. So he labels himself mixed race.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a microaggression of me that I don't really know which one he identifies as.
Yes.
But I know he's both. So, Please bear with me.
Yeah, I don't know anything about what's going on in the NFL. I mean, I know what the rules are because, like, we had to play it in gym class, and, like, that sucked. But, like, at least I know what the positions are, but that's it.
I just remembered something, and we're going to get to this later in the show. My numbers are wrong. There's not 32 teams. There's only 30.
Why is there 30?
Because we lost the 2 teams, the Cowboys and the Texans. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. They had one of the black quarterbacks. No, they had both the black quarterbacks.
They had both of the black quarterbacks?
Both of the black quarterbacks. The NFL got even more racist.
It needs diversity now more than ever.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't even know. Good thing that we analyzed this for the people on the show, because I bet they didn't realize this either.
They wouldn't know any of this stuff. Like, we're doing, like, really good work here.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we're doing good work. I'm glad that the Wi-Fi is working well.
Yeah, and so I guess we'll go on to the next... Well, the next couple stories are really, really sad. So, the first story, it is with a heavy heart that we must say, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at the age of 84.
She died way too early.
Way too early. Just months after retiring from the Supreme Court to allow President Clinton to replace her with a younger progressive, former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at the age of 84 in her Brooklyn, New York home. The justice, who served on the court from 1993 until 2017, fought tirelessly for progress, including siding with the majority in the 2015 case Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized same-sex marriage across the country. That's my favorite court case ever, by the way.
It is important.
Justice Cory Booker, the newest member of the Supreme Court, appointed by President Clinton earlier this year, says he was saddened by her loss and plans to place a permanent plaque behind the chair where she used to sit.
God. So sad.
It is so sad.
It's so sad.
When I heard about this, I cried. I did. I'm still crying on the inside. I am.
I still cry sometimes about it. It sucks, You think about all the good things this woman did for the country, for women's rights, for homosexual rights, for African American rights. She righted all the wrongs in this white supremacist country. Now she's
gone.
Now she's gone.
Should we move on to the next story?
Yeah.
Okay. The next story we have, which is also sad but slightly less sad.
Slightly less.
Senator John McCain dies at age 81. Arizona Senator John McCain died at the age of 81 this week, just over a month after being diagnosed with brain cancer. The senator, who was the 2008 Republican nominee for president, famously switched to the Democratic Party this summer, along with his colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. We talked about that story in the first podcast.
We did. That's why it's sad.
I'm remembering all this stuff. His memorial service will be held in Phoenix on Friday, September 29th. Oh, God, that's like 3 days from now.
Oh, God.
And will be attended by the entire U.S. Senate, as well as Vice President Tim Kaine and former President Barack Obama and his family. Arizona Governor Jan Brewer plans to replace him before the 2018 midterm election with a Democrat, because Arizona law states that a senator who dies or resigns must be replaced with a person of the same party.
Ah, man. Lose another one way too early once again.
John McCain was the best Democrat we ever had. Even when he was a Republican, he was one of the best Democrats out there.
Yeah, he fought for our interests to the very end.
To the very end. So this is really, really sad. And the thing is, I really, really want to go to both of their graves to pay my respects. And one's in New York and one's in Phoenix. But, like, I'm in Canada, and I'm not going to be able to get back to the U.S. for a while until my Amazon delivery drone gets here.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, like, slip a note in it and see if it'll take it back to their headquarters so they can get in contact with my CEO, and maybe I'll get out of here.
Yeah, dude, it's your progressive duty to go visit those grave sites.
I know.
Like,
whatever, and I'm not saying which one I'm going to visit first. Probably Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because
I would go to hers first
because I liked her better.
Yeah, me too.
But Arizona's closer. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
My thing is just
I think we should go together. Like, maybe I want to go as soon as possible, but I feel like it would be disrespectful to you if I went and I didn't take you with me.
Oh, I feel honored that you'd want to go with me.
Yeah.
I know Amy would want to see them as well.
We can take her and Jamal.
Yeah. She'd probably tell some funny jokes to, lighten up the mood, because she's so much like Amy Schumer. That's also one of the traits that she has. Like, if I just went without Amy, I'd probably cry too much,
I know.
She's my solid rock, my solid foundation in a world where I don't know what I'm doing. That's what women do for you when you have them in your life.
I wish I had a solid rock as well.
You will find one,
I'm
my
sure
young
I will.
Padawan.
Thank you.
But I want to go back on the John McCain thing.
Yeah.
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg, really sad.
Mhm.
John McCain, also really sad, but a little less sad. And we talked about this last time on the show. You know, John McCain, great man. He fought for our interests. He passed some laws. Now he's out of the way.
Yeah.
Now he's out of the way. Just passed some laws and he got out of the way. He didn't stay around and screw things up.
Mm-mm.
Now we can replace him with a younger, more diverse person. And, like, you know, this country can only get better.
Yeah. So, like, you know.
It's like a sad story with, like, a happy ending. You know? It's his final gift to us.
It's like a fairy tale ending, really.
Yeah. For a fairy tale man.
Mm-hmm. Too soon.
Too soon. Let's move on. I feel really sad now.
I know. Well, this next one will be really, really good. This was one
Okay.
of my favorite stories when I added this to our
Okay, this will bring us up.
People on U.S. currency replaced with more diverse leaders. Ending the debate over whether U.S. currency is not diverse enough, the Secretary of Treasury announced plans to replace nearly every single person on both paper bills and coins. The changes are as follows. Okay, now pay attention here because we're going to go each one.
Yes.
The $1 bill will replace George Washington with civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a good one.
That is the best.
That's a solid one.
And $1 bills are the most common, okay?
Yep.
So, like, we're going to see him even more. That's the best way you can honor his legacy.
Martin Luther King's like a secular saint.
Yeah.
All the work they did.
I love him.
Let's go on to the next one.
The $5 bill will replace President Abraham Lincoln with civil rights leader Malcolm X.
Ugh! What a good one.
I know.
What a good pick. He fought for his people, tooth and bone. He wasn't afraid to get violent.
I personally, a lot of people disagree with me here.
Yeah.
I personally think that Malcolm X was a better speech giver than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Ooh.
A lot of people disagree with
That's
me
a
on that.
controversial
But
opinion.
I like his... No, I'm not saying like the content of his speeches, but like his ability to talk. Like that man, he could talk. And I like people who talk.
I like people that can
I'm sorry,
talk,
that
too.
was an ableist comment. I apologize.
Yeah, it is ableism. I like people that don't talk as well,
Yeah?
but people that talk are also valuable.
Yes.
And what words they say does give value.
And
so you can acknowledge that.
Arguably speaking, if he didn't talk as well as he talked, he might not have gotten done what he got done. So, I think we can at least agree it played a part.
Yes.
And that's how we honor his legacy. He's on the $5 bill.
He deserves it.
He does.
Let's move on to the next one.
All right. The $10 bill will replace Alexander Hamilton with former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah! Hell yeah! Oh, man.
They were, yeah. It's awesome. So, like, see, she's already being, like, honored.
She did so much for this country.
Yeah.
And now she's going to be honored on the money
Mm-hmm.
forever. That's how much work Ruth Bader Ginsburg went through to make this country great.
And every single time I get a $10 bill, I'm just going to kiss it.
Yeah.
Because I loved her so much.
I wouldn't even want to, like,
Spend
trade
them?
in my tens.
Yeah, just
but I
collect
will
them.
anyways.
Yeah.
Don't really have a choice. It's money.
Yep. And next up, the $20 bill will replace President Andrew Jackson with abolitionist and Underground Railroad leader Harriet Tubman.
That's a good one.
It is. And, you know, they were even talking about doing that before Hillary became president.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't following the money news.
Yeah, this was back when President Obama was president. And, like, they were talking about doing it, but, like, it just, you know, this stuff takes time, obviously. You know, you can't just do things overnight.
Of course.
But now it's finally being done, and that's the important part.
Well, yeah, Harriet Tubman's a good one. She, like, rescued slaves from, like, white supremacists.
Yeah.
And she, like, carried a gun. It was kind of like Django Unchained. It was pretty
That was
cool.
a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I really liked it when the plantation owners got shot.
Yeah, that was the best scene.
Yeah, racists.
Uh-huh.
Let's move on to the next one.
All right, the next one. The $50 bill will replace President Ulysses S. Grant with Union rights leader Cesar Chavez.
Oh, he helped all the Mexicans.
He did.
That were, like, picking tomatoes.
Yeah.
They're, like, doing their part to, like, make the economy great, and, like, we were being mean to them.
It's because of him that we realized how great immigration was, too.
Yeah, immigrants make this country great.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the refugees we brought in. Country's getting so much better.
Maybe. Yeah. Next one, and this is the final bill. The $100 bill will replace Benjamin Franklin with television icon Oprah Winfrey.
Whoa.
Now, she will become the first person ever to be placed on a dollar bill while still being alive. And they said...
That's not a thing?
Yeah. And
Whoa.
they said they put her on it because she was such a leader for the African American community. And she gave a lot of money to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And, like, if she didn't give that money...
Trump could have won.
Trump could have won.
Trump could have won.
So, like, she saved us, okay?
From Russia.
She deserved to be put on the $100 bill. And, you know, she's always the really generous person. You get a car, and you get a car. And so, like, the $100 bill is the perfect one because it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
And she was worth a lot.
She was.
Exactly. So,
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I guess...
Who did this? The Secretary of Treasury? I don't know what they even do, but this is, like, some good stuff.
Who is the Secretary of Treasury? I had a list here of everybody in, like, the cabinet, but I forgot who was the Secretary of Treasury.
I don't even know what that does, so... I don't know. We got to move on, I think.
Okay, here we go. In terms of coins, the penny will replace Abraham Lincoln with former Senator John McCain.
That's a good place for him.
Yeah, it is.
He's, you know, he's worthy of his position on the penny.
Mm-hmm. The nickel will replace President Thomas Jefferson with President Barack Obama. So you remember when I said that Oprah Winfrey was the first person to get on a dollar bill as a living person? He is the first person that will get on a coin as a living person. And you know, President Obama was our first African-American president. And he did some really, really good stuff. Like, we got Obamacare because of him. That's awesome.
And he's definitely worth at least 5 John McCains.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
So like, it's good that he's now on the nickel, and that's awesome.
Okay, what's the dime?
The dime is the only thing that doesn't change.
Really?
It's going to relieve President Franklin D. Roosevelt unchanged. You know why?
Why?
Because he was such an icon for liberalism. He got us through World War II. We defeated the Nazis because of him.
Fucking Nazis.
Yeah, and he served 4 terms. He was a Democratic Socialist president was elected to 4 straight terms. That proves how popular socialism actually is in the United States.
Yeah, everyone liked it.
Yeah.
Why'd he stop running?
He died.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. But
he could have been 5 times.
Yeah, and he probably would have.
Probably would have.
So, to honor his legacy, we are leaving him in place.
That's good.
Yeah. The quarter will replace President George Washington with German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Whoa!
As a show of unity with her efforts to help Europe become a more progressive and diverse continent.
She's not even American.
Exactly.
That's really progressive.
That's how historic and progressive this is right now. Like, I am so happy with the choices that President Clinton made in picking her cabinet. Because, like, who would have ever thought of this?
I wouldn't have even thought of this.
Exactly. So, like,
our money is, like, reflective of being part of a global community.
Exactly.
Like, we're one people united.
Yeah.
In, like, a social movement for equality and progressive change.
We are the people. We are united, and we will never be divided.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, that's actually a good segue into the economic news.
Yeah, we're talking about money. Let's talk about the money.
Here we go first. The oil shortage continues after hurricanes hit the United States. After the devastation of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma, the largest problem, I'm sorry, I can't read.
It's okay. Reading's pretty ableist.
Yeah.
If you screw up, it's okay.
It's not my fault. A larger problem has come about. With a law banning the drilling of oil in the Gulf of Mexico being passed earlier this year, in addition to President Clinton's executive order banning the construction of new oil pipelines, the amount of oil in reserves across the country has been running low. Because many refineries in Louisiana were shut down due to the hurricane, the oil reserves across the country have been completely tapped out. The federal government and FEMA have been criticized by residents of the Pelican State. That's Louisiana, by the way.
I didn't know that.
I had to look that up. I feel smarter now. In the past, especially during Hurricane Katrina under President Bush. He did a terrible job with that. Those same complaints came back again after Hurricane Harvey. With federal resources being used mainly for the wars in Alaska and Syria, government response to the hurricane damage has been nearly non-existent. Because of this oil and gas shortage, millions of Americans have not been able to fill up their cars with gas in several days. Places that still have gas have seen gas prices rise to over $9 a gallon in some areas. The national average price of gas has risen to $8.43 a gallon. In terms of oil, the price recently surpassed $185 per barrel.
So this is like really good stuff.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to be using gas as much, and that's what causes global warming.
Exactly.
And, like, it's just in time, because look at these hurricanes. Those are caused by global warming. If we didn't cut this stuff off right now, okay, the entire country would be underwater.
So you're saying a global warming caused hurricane
Yes.
destroyed our ability to cause global warming?
Well, it's like all the old global warming is still there,
Uh-huh.
so we need to start new. So,
Right.
like, if we start now not using the stuff, like, we won't get more hurricanes.
So, like,
This is like the leftover global warming.
did it, like, solve itself then, sort of?
Kinda, like, you know, the Earth
Or at
works
least-
in, like, cycles, and it's cyclical, you know? So
Right.
it kind of, like, cleans itself.
Right.
Like, sometimes when there's too much global warming, like, it does things that's going to bring it down.
Right.
Like, that's how, like, the climate changes. It changes to adapt.
Right.
So, like, it's doing, like, half the work for us. We just need to not use oil. And, I mean, the prices are up, so, you know, we won't use it so
Yeah,
much.
exactly. So, like, you know, and even, you know, I have to say I'm going to agree with the right for the right reasons. You ready?
For the right reasons.
Yeah. Okay. Now, they're always talking about, like, economics and stuff like that.
Kind of racist, but yeah.
So if you think about it, you know, they like to talk about supply and demand. And I kind of understand this stuff because I went to college. They talk a lot about, like, supply and demand. And if, like, the demand is high or the price, or, like, you know, how the prices are based off of that. With the prices so high, people can't afford it. So they're not going to use it. Right? And that is the price that is set by the market. So literally the market is saying we should stop global warming.
Yeah.
Literally, they were right when they said that the market solves itself. Okay? So, like, I'm agreeing with them this one time on this one thing because, like, their principle was right here. And, like, oil being $185 per barrel, like, that's a lot.
The
so,
thing
like,
is,
you can't
like,
even afford the oil. So, like, we don't have to use it.
the thing is, like capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, like free markets, that's what that is, like supply and demand.
Yeah.
That's what economics are. Like, economics can be good, but you need to, like, put restraints. Like, after we had the carbon taxes and we got rid of all the new pipelines and we shut down, like, the oil drilling, you know, on the coasts, like, we whipped capitalism into shape, so, like, it won't be, like, so white supremacist
We
anymore.
kicked its ass.
And, like, it'll actually be, like, respectful to the earth. So it's kind of good. Like, we were talking last time, like, oil prices were already going up. That's helping out the Pakistanis and, you know, the Afghanis and the Indians that have all the gas stations.
Right.
They're making even more money right now. Okay, those guys have great business sense. They're going to invest it back into the people, and that's what's going to help, you know, the people in the hurricane zones. They'll rebuild it with that money.
And not only that, but think about this also. That hurricane hit Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah.
You know who both of those states voted for?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. So they deserved it too.
Which, I mean, Texas isn't even a state anymore.
All right, don't spoil it. We're getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone kind of knows, I'm sure. It's a big story. But, like, you know, we like our listeners to keep stuff in order.
Yeah, okay.
So, but you're absolutely right. Like, they deserved it for voting for Trump. Actually, everybody...
They deserve it double for the stuff they've
Yeah.
been up to.
Yeah.
Texas sucks.
Yeah. You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
So the next one is stock markets continue to fall. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has continued its free fall, which began the day after the election last November. The average has fallen to only 3,582 points as of closing yesterday, which is an 81% decline. However, there have been some winners amongst the many, many losers. Comet Ping Pong Pizza, which is now the nation's largest pizza chain restaurant, recently went public at $45 per share. You know how much their shares are worth now, Enzo?
I don't know.
$235 in just 4 months. That is an increase of 420%. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, they're everywhere now.
Yeah.
I went to one in Israel. It was sweet.
They're international too?
Yeah, they're in Israel.
Oh, wow.
Everything is kosher there, but yeah.
I was going to say, because this article goes on to say that the reason for the increase includes an unexpected rise in quarterly profits as well as increased expectations with the opening of their 1,000th store in Berkeley, California.
Man, that'd be a cool place to get a pizza.
Yeah. I'd like to go to Berkeley, California. You know, Berkeley, California was the birthplace of free speech.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of racist then.
Yeah. But they got a Comet Ping Pong Pizza now.
I guess that makes up
So
for
I'm
it.
sure, being like in a college town, that's going to be really, really popular.
Yeah. I guess as long as the free speech doesn't turn to hate speech.
Well,
but
I mean,
how do you cut the
Berkeley
how do you
already
put
got
the
rid
line
of free
on that?
speech, though. They got rid of that during the election. Remember, there was all those protests there?
Yeah.
They already got rid of free speech.
Okay, good, because I was like, birthplace of free speech. What are you talking about, Bobby?
Yeah, I know.
It's a little scary.
Think about it. I mean, it was the birthplace of free speech and the death of hate speech.
Okay, that it does make sense.
So it is good. And
yeah,
now
they fixed their
Comet
problem.
Ping Pong Pizza.
Yeah, things are they've turned it around.
Yeah.
And Comet Ping Pong Pizza going there is a sign of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like I don't really know much about the stock market, but like it's just Wall Street losing money.
I
It
know.
doesn't matter.
And we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
And like, the more that those greedy Wall Street bankers lose their money, the better it is for Americans.
Most definitely.
So, like, this is only good news here.
They're the 1%. Have you ever heard of the 1%?
Enzo, we know a lot about the 1%.
Yeah, if you
I
don't
hate
know about the 1%, they're the worst people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
They're Republicans, and they're old white guys, and they have way too much money, and they oppress people.
Yeah,
so it's good that they're losing their money.
So they're losing all their money, and that's a good thing. And all that money is going to everybody else. So, like, everyone's getting richer, too. So, anyways, you ready to move on to the next story?
Yes, let's move on.
All right, we're now entering the segment called Elections News. Here we go. Black and Muslim voters begin forming their own political parties. The Democratic Party has seen record numbers of people unresigning as members of their political party. As of September 1st, the Democratic Party reported that they had just over 38 million members. This is down from the 63 million they had back on Election Day. The main cause of this is a grand exodus of African American and Muslim voters leaving to form their own political parties, which they say makes it easier for them to vote for their own interests. Representative Maxine Waters, head of the newly formed Black American Party, stated, quote, "The Democratic Party will no longer be able to use us as their vote slaves anymore. We were brought over from Africa against our will, and it's time for us to rise up and take control of our future." Also joining the new party was Representative John Lewis of Georgia, Senator Michelle Obama of Illinois, and former President Barack Obama.
Man.
Yeah. So similarly, Linda Sarsour, feminist activist and head of the new party simply titled the Islam Party, released a statement. She said, quote, "Allah has blessed us with the power to bring him glory. We will continue to do so and grow our ranks and have America follow the Quran more closely." A recent Wall Street Journal poll stated that the number one reason for people leaving the Democratic Party was the party's continued focus on Hispanic voters. Quote, "Latinx are this country's future," said Maria Santos Rivera Cortez, a Hispanic Democrat from California. She said, "We're only 19% of the country right now, but we'll be 33% in 20 years. Whites are 62% now, but they will be less than 50% by 2045. Why should we focus on them? They split Republican 80-20. We can't win with white voters anymore."
That makes sense.
Yeah. And it says, "It's unknown how the Democratic Party will fare in the future with a very small number of whites, blacks, and Muslims. The Republican Party, on the other hand, has shifted its focus to disenfranchised white middle-class voters and has seen a record rise in party registration."
So it's kind of confusing. Like, politics have changed up. Like,
Yeah.
we're Democrats.
Yeah.
And I guess we couldn't join the Black Nationalist Party
No, we couldn't
or
join
the
it.
Islam Party because we're not either of those.
No.
But we do stand with them.
Yes.
Or, I mean, I guess kneel with them. Standing would be kind of wrong. But, like, I don't know. How does this work? We're splitting up our power.
Here's why it's a good thing, Enzo.
Why
You
is
ready
it a
for
good
this?
thing? I am confused.
Because in Congress, see, like, this is how they do it in Europe.
Okay.
Because you know how they have a bunch of political parties? So you're like, how could anyone ever get anything done?
Yeah.
Those parties form coalitions. Okay? So that's exactly what's going to happen here. The Democratic Party, the Islam Party, and the Black American Party are all going to, they said they're all going to form a coalition in Congress. So we're still going to be able to get everything done. And like and they will vote for their own interests, which is great because everyone should be able to vote for their own interests.
Yeah.
And like they're finally able to do it. Or I'm sorry, yeah, the African Americans can able to do it, and the Muslims are able to do it, and the growing number of Hispanic voters and I guess the liberal voters will be liberal. So like they're all together. And the Republicans, meanwhile, like, they're just out being like doing all the racist stuff that they do.
Oppression.
So like,
which they're pretty much just the white people party now.
Them. You know, if Democrats leave the Democrat Party and they want to join the Republicans, so be it. All that means is less racism in our party.
Yeah, we don't need any racists here, anyways. But like, I don't know. Like, what if down the line, like the Islam Party and the African American Party, they like want something that the other team doesn't want? Like, what do we?
Well, that's
we
democracy.
can't coalition then.
That's democracy.
And then what if the Republicans like win because like we weren't united? That's
How
why like it was nice when we were all Democrats.
How are they going to win, Enzo? I'll tell you why they're not going to win.
Why are they not going to win?
Because like all the Republicans are moving to Texas. They're just leaving. You know, I don't want them here to begin with. Okay, I mean we're going to get to that here in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
But you know, I have to agree with Maria Santos Rivera Cortez because she stated the facts that hardly anyone wants to talk about. You know, Hispanics or Latinx are 19% of the country right now, but in 20 years they'll be 33% of the country. So like obviously we should be focusing on them.
Especially since we just amnestied and like the stuff with the borders happening now, like they're going to be the future. Those numbers haven't even taken into account what we've been doing.
That's right. I mean, Latinx are the future of the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the truth. Okay.
Like if we just focus on them, we might just never lose.
Exactly, and that's part of the reason why the African Americans and the Muslims formed their own, because they said, look, the Democratic Party, they don't care about us anymore.
But I do care about them. I want them to know I care about them. Black Lives Matter.
That's why I don't understand why they're saying these things. They said that they think that the Democrat Party is using African Americans as vote slaves. We outlawed slavery after the Civil War, so I don't understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, we made sure Trump didn't even win. What are they talking about? Slavery?
It doesn't make sense. But you know what? I still stand in solidarity with them.
I do stand with them.
Because you were right when you said Black Lives Matter.
They do matter.
And Muslim lives matter.
Muslim lives matter.
And they're now forming together to protect themselves. And that is the right of every American in the world.
I kneel with my African American and Muslim brothers. Even if they're not a part of my party, they're a part of this greater global social progressive movement that unites us together as humans against the racists.
I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Hell yeah. So that's where things are right now. You know, politics is kind of up in the air, but we're going to figure it out, dude.
Yeah.
We're together, so.
I guess now we go on to the bottom of the stack. You ready?
Yeah, let's go to the bottom of the stack stuff.
Detroit institutes Sharia law. Michigan's largest city has made history as the first major city in the United States to fully institute Islamic Sharia law. As such, women in the city will no longer be able to legally drive or vote in future elections. Men will also legally be able to beat their wives. But, a motion to allow men to beat their girlfriends as well was struck down by the city council's vote. So I guess they got to be married,
yeah.
Because I mean, legally, when she's married, under
Sharia law,
she is your property.
Yes.
So you can beat her, but if you're not married, then don't count.
Yeah.
So I can understand where the city council came from with that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Continuing with this, with the story, with a rising Muslim population in the nearby city of Dearborn, with the conversion of blacks to Islam and an influx of 175,000 new refugees to the greater Detroit area, led to the easy implementation of the Islamic law. Also included as part of the law is the criminalization of any disrespectful speech toward the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The city will now implement a 6 p.m. curfew for women, and they must be escorted by a husband or family member. The 6 p.m. curfew, however, is extended to 10 p.m. on the weekends, because people like to go on the weekends, so you can stay out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I can understand. That's a good rule.
As long as you're not drinking alcohol.
Of course not. I mean, there is no alcohol anymore. It's Sharia.
Yeah.
They're not even going to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
And it says, on unrelated measures, Detroit's per capita rate of goat ownership is now the highest in the country. I don't know why they included that.
Yeah, I don't know why that would be there.
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
But
maybe, but here's the thing. This is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is cultural diversity. This is their culture. This is the culture of the Muslims. So who are we to judge them and say that their culture is invalid? That's how they want to live.
And you know what? They came and they went to the Dearborn area and the Detroit area.
Yeah, they used to just live in small little ghettos.
And they're now the majority there.
Yeah,
so
they're majority.
If people are a majority,
that's democracy.
If people are a majority in the land that they live on, they should be able to set the rules to how they want.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
They shouldn't have to worry about anybody else that's there because they're in control. It's democracy. They voted in and everyone follows it. That's the whole point. So like it's great. Down they get to like live how they want to live. It's perfect.
The one thing that I'm a little miffed about is like, Detroit. It has very big African American population.
Yeah.
A lot of them are converting to Islam. Are they going to join the Black African American Party, or are they going to join the Islam Party? Like, who's going to control the city, like, mayor-wise? Is it going to be Islam or, like, African Americans?
That's a really good point. I don't know.
Because, like, what if the African Americans, like, take power and then, like, start repealing stuff? Because that would be democracy, too, wouldn't it?
Why? Are you complaining about that?
No. I just think it's, like, it's confusing. But, like, I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when, like, a person converts to, like, Islam, that becomes their identity.
Yes.
Like, they can also be African American, but Islam's first. So maybe they won't even have that problem. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just speculating.
I don't think we should get too worked up about the inner politics of the city of Detroit. What's important is that they have made this milestone, this historic milestone, to become the first major U.S. city to implement Sharia law. And so, like, that's really, really cool.
And, like, if it's good there, like, we could try it other places.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. They're testing it out.
Yeah, they're testing it out. So
let's get on to the next story.
Hopefully it goes well. This part's funny because it talks about Drumpf.
Drumpf.
So, Drumpf is writing a new book titled What Happened? And in this article here, it's literally just the book description from Amazon, okay? This is, like, hilarious.
Okay.
For the first time, Donald J. Trump reveals what he was thinking and feeling during one of the most controversial and unpredictable presidential elections in history. Now free from the constraints of running, Donald takes you inside the intense personal experience of becoming the first billionaire TV show host nominated for president by a major party in an election marked by rage, sexism, exhilarating highs and infuriating lows, stranger-than-fiction twists, and an opponent who broke all the rules. This is his most personal memoir yet. Hillary Clinton did not break all the rules.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Donald Trump is breaking the rules trying to work with the Russians.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this guy. Read more. I'll talk later.
In these pages, he describes what it was like to run against Hillary Clinton, the mistakes he made, and how he has coped with a shocking and devastating loss, and how he found the strength to pick himself back up afterward. With humor and candor, he tells readers what it took to get back on his feet, the rituals, relationships, and reading that got him through, and what the experience has taught him about life. He speaks about the challenges of being a strong man in the public eye, the criticism over his voice, his age, and his appearance, and the double standard confronting men in politics. He lays out how the 2016 election was marked by an unprecedented assault on our republic by a foreign adversary. Well, yeah, because they're trying to help you.
Yeah, work with the Russians.
Yeah.
This is such fake news. Oh my God, keep reading though.
By analyzing the evidence and connecting the dots, Donald shows just how dangerous the forces are that shape the outcome, and why Americans need to understand them to protect our values and our republic in the future.
Our values? Yeah. Donald Trump's values are not our values.
I don't want to protect Donald Trump's values.
But finish the thing, then we can talk about it.
The election of 2016 was unprecedented and historic. What happened is the story of that campaign and its aftermath, both a deeply intimate account and a cautionary tale for our nation.
You want to know what happened, Donald Trump? You lost.
Yeah.
You lost, you loser. You lost. And it's so pathetic. He's writing a little book about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. He's such a loser. I'm at loss for words by the stupidity of Donald Trump. But then again, how can I be at loss for words with stupidity and Donald Trump? Because that's all he is. He's stupid. He's Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's literally like a, what's the word for when you say two things twice in a row?
I don't even know.
I don't even know either. But, like, yeah, he's talking about, the criticism over his voice. Well, yeah, because he talks like a third grader.
Yeah, he talks like an asshole. Like, when he talks, it's like an asshole talking, like...
Yeah, like, he doesn't talk good, okay?
Yeah.
And it says criticism over...
Yeah, he's always like, I got the very best words.
The very best.
So, he tweets that way, too.
I know, it's such a retarded...
Don't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that
my
ableist,
God.
too?
That wasn't even a microaggression. You can't say the R word.
I was just filled with rage and anger about Donald Trump. I'm sorry. But
say sorry to the people you offended.
I'm sorry to all the people I offended.
Who did you offend by using the R word?
People who get offended by me using the R word.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. So it also says they criticize his age. Well, yeah, because he's like 70.
Yeah, he's ancient.
Yeah, of course you're going to criticize someone that's like, oh, he could barely move around.
Yeah, he's, he didn't even get exercise.
Yeah, he flew in a plane anywhere.
He ate
everywhere.
McDonald's all the time.
That's all he ate. You saw those pictures he was eating, like KFC with a fork and knife.
Yeah.
And he was drinking like Diet Coke and like McDonald's.
It's not good for you, dude.
Yeah.
You should 70 years old and running for president.
And that leads to the next thing he says they were criticizing him over, which was his appearance. Well, number one, your hair looks stupid, okay?
Stupid.
Your hair looks stupid.
Is it even real? I don't think it's real.
Not.
Probably not real.
Probably a wig. And also, he's overweight.
Yeah, overweight.
Yeah, like his
stupid face.
Yeah.
Small hands.
He's like small hands, his skin color looked orange.
Orange looking guy.
They nicknamed him the Cheeto, like, of course, yeah. So, like, yeah, of course, all these things fit him perfectly. So, like, of course I'm going to criticize him for that stuff.
So, Trump released this book.
Yeah.
And I've also heard he's announcing a book signing tour.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Wow.
He's going to go around the country and get it signed. Depending how things go with this Texas stuff. I don't know what he's going to do. But, like...
He'll probably just move there.
He might move there. But, would you want to get a book signed by Donald Trump?
Hell no.
But you could, like, say something when you get up there.
Spit in his fat fucking face.
Yeah, you could do that. That would be pretty good. I don't know. You wouldn't have an opportunity to do that otherwise. Like,
true.
I would, like, take my middle finger and put it in his face, and I'd say, like, this one's for you, Donald.
Well, first things first, we'd have to actually get back to the U.S.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to see if he's coming to our city. I don't know where we're going to live now.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going to live.
We'll figure out that
We'll
later.
figure it out.
Anyways, speaking of Trump. You ready for the next story?
Yes.
Trump to build new resort hotel in Corpus Christi, Texas. Businessman Donald Trump has announced plans to build a new resort hotel on the Gulf Coast in Corpus Christi, Texas. The project, being named the Trump International Hotel Corpus Christi. Oh, how original there, Donald.
Yeah, what a clever name.
Yeah. It officially broke ground just hours after Trump himself tweeted about it. He said, "Building a new hotel in Texas. Don't want to stay in Clinton's America anymore. I think I'll just move there when finished." So yeah, he might move
yeah,
to
he's probably just going to move to that hotel, which is good. I mean, then he won't do the book tour. He can just do it in Texas with all the other races that are going to buy the book.
I'm sure they'd be sold out with all the Republicans that are moving there.
Yeah.
Anyways, continuing.
Well, do Republicans read books?
They read the Bible.
Yeah, that is a book.
I don't know if they read any other books.
Maybe they'll read their second book with Trump's book.
Maybe.
But yeah, continue.
Anyways,
sorry.
Trump, who lives in Trump Tower in New York City and has dozens of hotels around the world, personally scooped the first mound of dirt using a shovel. He was joined by Texas President Greg Abbott and Corpus Christi Mayor Bill Worry. The plans for the hotel include 3,000 rooms, a luxury resort spa, easy access to the beach, a helipad, 6 restaurants, a movie theater, a bowling alley, and a 12,000 square foot all-purpose ballroom.
He had that racist guy in the wheelchair there too?
Yeah.
President Abbott? Oh my god. I hated that guy when we lived in Texas.
Yeah.
Now it's like a consortium of evil on Corpus Christi. What did Corpus Christi do to deserve this?
I think Trump is taking advantage of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Because it hit Corpus Christi, right?
It did, really hard.
And so, like, a lot of stuff was damaged. And so those properties were going for cheap. I bet you he knew it was going to happen.
That's gentrification.
That is gentrification. He's taking this old destroyed property and building a resort hotel. It's probably super expensive.
How dare he?
Only white people are going to stay there.
Jesus Christ. Is the person inspiring these people to do these mean things.
And plus he said he might move there. Like, I mean, I frankly hope he does. You know why? Because then we can demolish Trump Tower in New York City once and for all.
Yeah.
And we can build some, like, Section 8 housing.
Or we could just use it for something.
Like what?
I don't know. We could turn it into, like, a refugee shelter.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
That is a very good idea.
Be like the world's biggest refugee shelter.
I like your thinking, Enzo. I like it.
When I think about America, I think about the interests of refugees before anything else.
Well, I mean, you know why, right? They're more American than we are.
Yeah, they chose to be here.
Because they got to choose to be here. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
They're more American.
I mean, we're not there technically, but we are American citizens-wise.
I mean, I'm in Canada against my will.
Yeah.
You're in Syria against your will.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't really say that, You know who else was brought to countries against their will?
I don't know. Who?
The slaves.
That's right.
So you know what that means, right?
What?
We now know what it's like to be a slave, brought to another country against your will.
Does that mean our privilege went down?
I think our privilege just went down.
Whoa!
This is fantastic news.
This is progress.
We just checked our privilege.
We checked our privilege, and our privilege went down.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
We learn so much when we do this show.
I know.
I wouldn't even know our privilege went down unless we analyze it. That's why I do the show. We're good at analyzing
Keeps
things.
us high information people.
Very high info.
You ready for the next one?
Let's get on to the next story.
All right. So, riots after black man shot by police in Atlanta.
Happens again. Again.
You think
But-
with President Clinton this shit would stop?
Yeah,
But it don't. So, riots have erupted after a video surfaced of a black man being shot by 3 police officers in Atlanta, Georgia. The video shows police pointing their pistols at the 22-year-old man, who can be seen charging at one of the officers before they open fire, striking the man 8 times and killing him. That's like overuse of force.
Yeah, that's excessive force
Excessive
there,
force.
Mr. Police Officer.
8
Mr.
shot-
Pig. Oink, oink.
Bang, bang.
Continue. though.
Literally bang, bang, because they went bang, bang and killed the black man.
Yeah, I get it. It's sad.
He was identified by his family as Daquan Jackson, an Atlanta native. His mother, Gloria Evans, said, quote, "My boy was so young, and those thugs took him away from me. He never did nothing wrong. He was a good, sweet boy." And you know what? I bet you he was.
I bet he was.
Because, like, why would a 22-year-old man be, like, running at cops?
22 years old. He's probably in college.
Yeah. He's got a bright future. Well, he had a bright
He
future.
had
ahead.
one until these pigs
These white
shot him up.
supremacist terrorists.
Yeah. They probably voted for Trump. They probably voted for Trump. That's all you need to know.
I hope that Hillary uses this to disarm the police, because that's what needs to happen.
It's a good precedent to, disarm the police. That's what Black Lives Matter have been saying for so long.
Yeah.
This wouldn't happen if they didn't have guns.
Yeah. I mean, even if they had, like, a taser, he'd still be alive.
Yeah. Okay, it would have sucked, but, like, he'd be alive. And he's probably been, like, falsely attacked anyways, so...
He was killed for being black, that's why.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, the story goes on to say, Black Lives Matter leader Tariq Nasheed was seen at JFK Airport in New York City on his way to Atlanta. He was followed by several of his friends onto the airplane. An autopsy revealed the man had traces of marijuana and cocaine in his system, as well as a 9mm pistol was found on his body. Atlanta police say the shooting was justified. So far, the riots have caused nearly $100 million in property damage. Several police cars have been burned, and dozens of local stores have been looted.
Okay, those things, the traces, marijuana, cocaine, and the gun,
It's obviously fake.
that was planted on him.
Of course.
The cops do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we saw that with Trayvon Martin. We saw that
Freddie
with
Gray.
Freddie Gray. They planned stuff on him.
Who is the one that was killed in Minneapolis?
Philando Castillo.
Philando Castillo.
Yeah, they keep on doing this over and over.
You'd
It's
think that, like-
systemic racism.
Yeah, you think that, like, people would be onto their playbook. I mean, people are onto their playbook.
We are, obviously.
I mean, that's why they're rioting, because they're
not
onto
enough
their playbook.
people know, and that's why they're burning stuff down, so people are aware of it. You're not going to be aware of things until you start seeing some dramatic things happening. Okay, you burn down a school, like, that shows people you're really mad, and we're
Yeah,
really mad about what's
we are
going
really
on.
mad about this.
This is the police targeting young, unarmed black men for sport and shooting them down. That's all it is. That's all it could possibly be. What other reasons are there? I can't think of any.
I can't think of any either.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, you want to move on to the next story then?
Yeah, let's go into it.
All right. New study of dating trends reveals women's singleness at all-time high. A new study of dating trends in the United States, done by the University of Virginia, has revealed a stark new reality for women. Singleness among women has risen 52% since this time last year. In a split between men and women 18 years old and above who are unmarried, women now dominate the category 83% to 17% among men. Overall, a staggering 3 in 4 women are now finding themselves alone at night. The study cites a myriad of different factors contributing to these trends, including the lack of men due to the continued war in Russia and the Middle East and in Canada, the gender pay gap 1.23 times multiplier, which we talked about in the show.
We talked about last time.
Which is causing women to out-earn men, and increased sexual promiscuity from free on-demand abortions.
We talked about that last time as well.
the popularity of dating apps like Tinder, which is where you met your girlfriend.
That's where I met my girlfriend.
And a recent acquisition of Game of Thrones by Netflix, causing widespread viewability, among many other reasons. I watched that show.
Yeah, I watched Game of Thrones too. It's so great.
Like, I love it,
I like Daenerys the most. She's my favorite.
She's really pretty.
Yeah. Very, like, empowering.
She's a strong woman. She's a strong leader.
She's
like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And you know what else?
What?
They're both blonde.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously she was modeled after her.
Also, like, Amy, Horowitz, and Schumer. So, like...
Blonde?
Yeah, they're blonde.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sweet. Anyways, let's not get distracted by women like men always do. Let's continue.
The economic ramifications can already be seen in society with a boom in male prostitution usage, women paying for cuddle services, and adoption of cats from local shelters. Also, the country is engulfed in a serious wine shortage across the country, making cheap $20 wine boxes, previously robustly available, run anywhere between $500 to $600 each.
Man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. University of Virginia Feminists United President Jane Rosenberg, who was interviewed after seeing the numbers, stated the following, quote, "Even with the recent achievement of electing the first female president with Hillary Clinton, women still to this day suffer from institutional oppression at the hands of the capitalist, white cis male heteropatriarchy. I have female identifying friends who haven't even been approached for a date in months. The men of our society are obviously intimidated by strong women who have been empowered financially since Hillary's executive order eliminated the gender wage gap. They don't see a need to bring anything to the table either now that there is a big shortage of men. They don't have to have a career, get in shape, or commit to having a relationship whatsoever. Their misogynistic, sloth-like behavior can only be attributed to a lingering of male privilege in society. The only realistic solution to the current problem is the importation of foreign men to rebalance the male to female ratio in society."
She makes some great points.
She makes a lot of great points.
I think we need to break that down like a little bit. Okay, so they talk about the gender pay gap thing,
which is gone.
Now it's gone.
Yeah.
So women are empowered. And financially, they're more powerful. They have more decisions over their life than ever before.
It's good.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Her body, her choice.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, like, men are afraid of women that have that kind of power. Because all through history, men have always held all the power through institutionalized sexism, heteropatriarchy.
Yeah.
So, now these dudes, like, they're just afraid of them. Of strong women in the vein of Hillary Clinton or Daenerys or Amy Schumer, that's what most of the women in this country are like now. That's just where society's gone with, like, the improvements we've seen through feminism. But, like, now dudes, like, see this and they're just like, I don't like strong women. I'm just not going to try. I'm not even going to ask women out anymore. I mean, there's more single women there are single men. Why do I have to try? That's sexist. That's misogynistic.
Yeah.
It's a very hateful way of looking at women. So, like, we need to do our part. Not me and you as in, like, us individuals, but us as men. Like, men aren't doing enough, okay? We need to be providing women with value when we, approach any woman.
I agree.
Even if we don't know the woman, like, we need to do stuff that benefits them. Like, Bobby, you're looking for a woman, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of single women in America right now. You just need to come back and, like, get on Tinder and, like, just be honest about who you are. And, like, let the women see that, like, you understand. You're not one of these, like, misogynists, Like, they don't want to be held down. You want to be someone that empowers them to be more of who they are. Like, that's what I did for Amy. Amy and her son, Jamal, okay, they're doing well. Amy has a good paying job. She's a comedian. And me being in there, I empower her and Jamal even more. Because, I contribute my salary from the Army.
Yeah.
I give Amy emotional support. When I used to be in the United States, I took Jamal to basketball practice. And it's just like, we need to do our part to support women to be empowered more so. We're just not doing the right job. I don't know. I don't want to talk forever, but I do know some of the stuff about this because, I found a woman.
Yeah, I mean, you're really good at this stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm actually going to ask you for some relationship advice.
Yeah, okay. You want to ask me some?
Yeah, like, I've been thinking, even though there's no one up here, so I can't really match with anyone on Tinder.
Yeah.
Like, the main picture that I have right now is me in my Hillary for President t-shirt.
That's a good photo.
But my second picture is my picture they took of me when I was drafted, wearing my uniform.
Yeah.
Which one do you think I should I keep it the same or should I flip them around?
Well, I don't know. They always say, like, women like a man in uniform. So you have a uniform.
Yeah.
Like, they gave it to you. But also you want to show them, like, hey, I'm not, like, one of those, racist military guys, which is why you got the Hillary photo. Mm-hmm. I think what you need to do is you need to get a new photo that kind of, like, takes the best elements of both.
I should be wearing my military uniform with the Hillary shirt underneath and
yeah,
opening it up like Superman.
Opened up. Yeah.
That's what I should do.
You'd be like the Superman for them, and then they'll super like you.
I want to be super liked.
You'll be super liked.
Because when they super like, I can see that they've super liked me.
That's how Tinder works. I know. That's how I met my wife, Amy, on it.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, wait, wife. I'm thinking of the future already. It's my girlfriend.
Enzo, is there something you're not telling me?
I mean...
Are you planning to propose?
I want to, but I mean, I'm in Syria. She's in America.
True. I won't tell her if I see her.
Yeah.
By the way, since Texas seceded... Oh, crap. I just gave away the secret. Anyways, where did she move to?
Right now, she's in California.
Okay.
She's in Los Angeles because she has another apartment there.
That's a good place. Okay.
So she's safe there.
She's safe there, yeah.
But yeah, maybe in the future, like me and Amy Horowitz, not Schumer. Although Schumer would be even better, but Amy's good as well.
Yeah.
We'll get together, and then you could find a chick, and then we could live next to each other.
That would be awesome.
And I could raise my son Jamal, and then you could have a kid maybe, or maybe you guys could adopt, or you could get a dog. I don't know. But that's what we need to do. That's our
goals. If I got a dog, Jamal would be able to play with him all the time.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
But
then you don't have to wait 9 months for him to have a friend.
But yeah, let's go back to this little quote by Jane Rosenberg, though.
Okay.
She says they don't have a career, they don't want to get in shape, or they don't want to commit to having a relationship whatsoever. That's what we need to do. It's all about what you can do for women.
Yeah.
So you got the career, you're in the military, you need to get in shape because
I'm in shape. I went through basic.
Yeah, so you got that down.
Uh-huh.
And you want to be someone that commit to a relationship.
Well, I'm a committed person.
You're a committed person?
I'm a committed person.
Then, dude, there's so many single women in the right now. It's the perfect time for someone in the market like you.
Yeah.
Not like these bigots.
Uh-huh.
But also, she says here at the bottom, also something that's important to know. So it's not all about you, Bobby.
Okay.
There's a lot of single women in the country.
Yeah.
It's a big problem we need to fix. It's part of institutional sexism. These women want men, and there's just not men. They're fighting wars, and we saw a lot of dudes die, like, firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know how bad it is. We just need to import new foreigners that can, be boyfriends and husbands for these women.
That's a good idea. I mean, we kind of have.
We have in some senses.
Yeah, because we brought in, what was the number, like 3.2 million refugees total, I think?
Something like that.
So, I mean, that doesn't solve the problem. That does go a long way.
And it's mainly, fighting age men that we're sending over.
Yeah, so they're like the perfect ones they're talking about.
Like,
I'm a fighting age man, except I'm like, from here.
Yeah.
So, I'm the same as them. So, I would fit right in.
Like, a lot of them come from Syria.
Yeah.
They're very similar to the guys that we're fighting. But, those are good guys. They're already in shape. They've been fighting in wars, Maybe we could get some refugees from ISIS, now that we're at peace with them.
Yeah.
Those would be the right guys for them. And, then they have Islam. So maybe they could start, more Sharia cities.
Yeah.
And then, the women can, be with them. And it'll be good. It won't be Christian. It won't be colonialist. It won't be imperialist. It's not going to be sexist, okay? Muhammad was a progressive.
Yeah, he was. He was perfect.
So, I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on this before we go on?
No, I think we should just move on.
I think we covered that pretty well.
We did. That was some really good analysis we did.
It's all about analysis on the show. We got some big brains.
Yeah. So, next story says, revised Title IX law makes men have the burden of proof in rape allegation cases. National Director of Female Empowerment, Chelsea Clinton, announced Saturday her work with the Department of Education to seek reforms in civil rights laws on college campuses. With the alarming statistic of 1 in 4 women being raped on a college campus, in mind effort has been made to reduce that by switching the burden of proof of rape onto the alleged rapist rather than the victim's need to provide proof. We really need to learn as a society to sympathize with the victims of rape, not accuse them of lying whenever they report a rape to the police. It's that double standard we as a society have that keeps women from speaking up, and it really is an antiquated way of thinking, Chelsea Clinton said to the press. Quote, besides, a woman wouldn't lie about something as serious as rape. That just doesn't happen. You can Google it. It says since Sunday already, reports of rape on college campuses have risen a staggering 77% now that women do not fear being doubted in court. Some men's rights activist groups have said that the new revisions in Title IX create an atmosphere that encourages false reporting, but their concerns have yet to be answered by the Clinton administration.
Men's rights activists, more like misogynist rights activists. But, yeah, so this is something that was direly important to do right now, okay? We already passed the free college bill, so we have more women than ever in college right now, especially because most of the men are at war right now because they got drafted. But, yeah, 1 in 4 women are raped. We have, an increasing number of women going into colleges. It's just scary. It's really scary, and it's really just messed up, which is why we need to scare these rapists. We can't have, once again, institutional sexism that makes the burden of proof on the woman. The woman that's the victim. That's insane.
And, Chelsea Clinton is completely right. A woman would not lie about being raped.
Why would they lie about that?
Why would they lie about that?
That's a really serious allegation.
So, it's obvious they are telling the truth.
Yes.
So the burden of proof is the men need to prove that they didn't actually rape her, which is like the way it should be.
That makes sense, yeah.
If the woman comes forward, she's obviously not lying. So, you as the man need to prove that you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that you did it.
It's very likely that you did it statistically.
Yeah.
Just Google it.
Yeah.
Men are raping women all the time. 1 in 4 women. I've seen it could even be as high as 1 in 3.
Wow.
The numbers are crazy on this stuff.
Yeah, 77% increase since Sunday. That's a lot.
That means that women aren't afraid, though, to speak up like they did before. Because as a society, we shunned them. We'd be like, oh, what were you wearing? That's not the kind of stuff that we're saying anymore. We're saying, I believe you. Let's get this guy.
It's the way it should be.
It's the way it should be. It's just common sense.
Yep. So, now I guess we're moving on to the international news then, right?
Yeah, let's get on to the international news.
We're almost done here.
Yeah.
Fast podcast.
Let's give away the big secret. It's not even a secret at this point.
Yeah, we've already mentioned it.
But yeah.
I'll just read it.
Yeah.
That's the story. Okay. Texas secedes from the United States. Begins construction of border wall. Removes refugees.
Boo! Texas sucks.
Fuck you, Texas.
Fuck you, Texas.
After the first 9 months of Hillary Clinton's presidency, the state of Texas held a referendum on seceding and becoming its own separate nation. The vote was held on Tuesday, September 12th. With 100% of the votes counted, the secede vote won in a historic fashion with 73% of the vote. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, now President of the Republic of Texas, issued a statement that the state would immediately begin the process of leaving the United States and operating independently as its own separate country. Across the rest of the U.S., CNN and Reuters conducted a poll of non-Texans asking them their opinion on Texas's decision. Surprisingly, 47% of people said Texas made the right choice, to only 45% who said it was the wrong choice. What the fuck?
This is crazy.
That doesn't make any...
Dude, these are the kind of people that voted for Trump, okay? Don't get worried about it.
Yeah, you're right. The remaining 6% had no opinion. Also included in the poll was a question asking those who agreed with Texas's decision if they would consider moving to Texas. 88% said yes. 9% said no. 2% would not answer. You know what?
What?
I like that. Think about this. If 47% of the country, that's pretty much saying that's like all the Republicans left.
All the people that vote for Trump. Yeah. That's pretty much that number.
That's pretty much 100%. So if 88% of those want to move to Texas, then just move to Texas.
That's good.
That gets you out of our country, all right? Then we can just focus on doing our own things with no opposition. Like, that's a good thing to me.
Thank you, Texas. Fuck you, Texas. Thank you, Texas. But still, fuck you, Texas.
I was going to go clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, we're not actually at a rally or a protest.
I wish we were. I like protests.
I love protests.
Anyways, moving on. Quote, "This is a great move by our great former state and now great country," President Greg Abbott said. "Free from tyranny of the United States government, we will finally be able to do what needs to be done to make Texas great again." God, this dude's copying Trump. Like, it's obvious these guys are mentally, ill or something.
Yeah. He's also physically handicapped.
Yeah, like, who's going to trust a guy like that to be, like, in charge of you?
Yeah. Governor Wheels. Now he's President Wheels. I hate this guy.
However, the move has been criticized by every single member of President Hillary Clinton's cabinet, with the president herself saying, quote, "This decision will go down in history as one of the worst ever made by a state. We fought a civil war over secession in 1861, and we will again here in 2017. Texas will not be allowed to leave the United States." I like her definitive statements.
Hell yes.
Very definitive. I love it. In response to President Clinton's statement, Texas said they have begun construction on a 30-foot high, solid concrete, rebar-reinforced wall surrounding the entire state to be fully manned and have full surveillance systems installed within the next 30 days.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
building a wall. Like, this is, again, straight out of Trump's playbook. Like, no wonder the state voted for Trump. Like, everyone down there thinks like him.
So Trump's building a hotel there in Corpus.
Yeah.
He's probably in charge of the wall building effort.
I would assume so.
You got Governor Wheels, Greg Abbott, president now. And that's not even the worst of parts. The worst part's next here in the article.
I know, this is the worst part. Texas has also begun the removal of all 900,000 refugees that the Clinton administration relocated in the state. They were placed into vans, buses, trains, planes, and ships to be taken to California, Illinois, and New York, places that President Abbott said were, quote, better suited to host them.
That's like the Holocaust, dude.
They were put on trains.
They're putting them on trains.
They put the Jews on trains to go to the concentration camps.
Now they're putting the refugees on the trains to send them to Illinois.
I know, it's terrible.
Terrible.
There is some good news here, though. Because think about this. Texas is full of racists.
Racists.
So if the refugees are removed, they don't have to be around the racists anymore.
It's just sad they have to move. They're just in a war zone, and now they're being
about to be in another war zone.
Holocausted on their way out.
I know.
What's stopping the Texans from holocausting the refugees?
But you know what? Think about this. The refugees that are leaving replace the racists that are moving to Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas just lost 2 senators from the Senate.
That's good.
So, like, even though we had the
majority, already,
like, we have an even bigger majority. And also, they lost, like, all of their, like, representatives.
Yeah.
And so, like, most of them are Republican. So, like, we just gained even more control in the House.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Anyway.
That's good, but I'm just afraid because they're going to mistreat a lot of refugees. Refugees' lives matter the most. Like, one refugee getting harmed in this, civil war all of a sudden?
That's
messed up. Mm-hmm. But, speaking of civil war, you want to get to the next one?
Yes. Congress declares war on Texas. In response to the secession of Texas, President Clinton asked Congress to declare war on the state. Congress passed the resolution in both houses along party lines, which means we won a fairly big majority.
Yes.
With military resources running thin, with a lack of troops due to the wars against Russia in Alaska and Syria, many people have wondered what the administration will do to actively fight against Texas. There have already been skirmishes along the Texas border between anti-Texas groups and border wall construction workers. So far, the construction workers have not suffered any injuries or casualties, while the anti-Texas groups have counted around 13 dead and 69 injured across the border in various regions.
Oh my God.
These
savage, racist, murdering, wall-building fucks.
I know.
Fascists. That's what they are. Fascists.
The very next paragraph has to deal with that.
Yeah.
The Clinton administration has begun hiring anti-fascist groups across the country as mercenaries.
Oh, hell yeah.
Until more troops can be trained. So, like, all the college kids that are part of those anti-fascist groups,
yeah,
the government's now going to pay them to fight against Texas. Like, they literally get to fight the fascists.
That's cool.
It's like a dream come true, and they get paid for it.
They already get the free college. Yeah. Now they're getting paid to fight fascism.
It's like utopia.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like like Marx's ideal society of communism.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome.
This is the Civil War is crazy, but if the anti-fascists win it, we could have an anti-fascist America.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, instead of a fascist America or a fascist Texas.
However, here comes the next paragraph.
Okay.
Texas has announced that they are forming a nationwide militia force, mainly made up of people who were in the United States Armed Military but resigned in order to move to Texas, as well as current militia members and members of the Texas National Guard. So you know what that means?
What?
That means Texas is forming its own army to fight against the United States.
Oh, God.
Like,
that's scary.
It is scary. And you know what's even scarier? Like, you know, a lot of the people in the military are Republican.
They
like
are.
The United States military. And a lot of those
Probably
people,
most of them. I mean, I remember what it was like in basic training.
Yeah. And when Texas seceded, a lot of those people just dropped their weapons and said, I'm out of here, I'm going to Texas. So, like, now they're going to be in the military again, but in Texas's military.
Oh, God.
So, like,
there's a lot of Texans.
So there's going to be, like trained soldiers we're fighting that are going to have to be fighting
against the college kids?
Yeah. Like, I'm actually worried this is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, our anti-fascist groups are fantastic.
They're great.
They do a lot of good, but, like, I'm just worried, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm worried.
They're gonna need some committed anti-fascist soldiers like me and you. You know, we've been in battle. Yeah. We might have to fight in Texas. You know,
maybe
we might have to come home.
Maybe by the time we do the next episode, we might be fighting against Texas.
That would be good. I mean, I might
good.
still be here in Syria. I don't think there's any way this war is stopping here anytime soon.
Oh no, of course not. So, you know, speaking of another war, I guess we might move along.
Yeah.
Russia invades Eastern Europe.
Not good either.
Russia has invaded Syria, they've invaded Alaska, and now they're invading Eastern Europe. Well, I'll read the article here.
Yeah.
Russian forces shocked the world last week by launching a quick invasion of Ukraine, completely securing the country within 3 days. The move, which bears resemblance to Adolf Hitler's 1939 invasion of Poland, has caused German Chancellor Angela Merkel to issue a decree asking each member nation of the European Union to bind together and to resist the Russian invasion of Eastern Europe. President Vladimir Putin says he hopes to conquer the entire European continent and remove every single refugee that the EU has brought in over recent years. That's a mouthful, dude.
Wow.
He's literally doing this to kick out the refugees.
Wow.
How fucking dare he?
And Europe doesn't even have a good army.
Yeah. Anyways, so far, every member of the EU has been on board with Chancellor Merkel's request, except for Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, who have discussed joining Russian forces in their goal. The three countries were also part of President Clinton's travel ban because they refused to bring in any refugees.
Wow.
So, like, not only did they not take in refugees, they now also want to kick out all the other refugees in the other countries.
It's like World War refugee.
Yeah. Maybe I'll write a book about that.
That's insane. That would be a good book as well.
That would.
But, like, the European Union, like I said, they don't have, like, a good army. They got, like, France and...
France just surrenders all.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, Switzerland.
Does Germany even have him? I thought we, like, banned Germany from having a military after World War II so they don't, like, become the Nazis again.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I don't really know specifically, but, like, Russia, they're kicking our ass in Syria.
They're kicking our ass
in Alaska. They're in Canada. Okay, they might reach Israel soon. Like, they're obviously winning.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're supposed to stop them. I mean, we have to, though. I mean, they're going after refugees.
Yeah.
Putin said it. He's going to remove the refugees.
He said that's his goal.
Yeah.
And
but
you know
that's like what Hitler's goal was.
Yeah.
Remove
he wanted
the
to remove the Jews.
Now, Putin wants to remove the refugees. What's different?
Nothing.
Nothing is.
Nothing. There's only one difference.
What?
First, it was Germany invading Russia. Now it's Russia invading Germany.
Wow.
It's just like a reverse.
History is like cyclical.
Yeah.
It's happening again. This is why it's important to teach kids, you know, the correct history in school. Because, you know, otherwise we're going to repeat these things. And, you know, Russia's repeating things. I don't know. It's messed up and it's scary. I don't have any other thoughts. Do you?
Well, all we have left is one more article, and then we're almost done with this. It's been a fast podcast.
Yeah.
So you ready for this final article here?
Yeah, this is the last article we have.
Mexican and Central American governments jubilant after seeing majority of populations immigrate to the United States. The current economic features of the countries south of the border have never looked better. With most of their citizens leaving for the promises of free college, free healthcare, and a living wage, and more offered by President Clinton through a completely open border, remittances back to the countries of origin are up 92% from where they were last year. Mexico alone saw a $69 billion in remittances in 2016, and now are on pace to receive $160 billion back in remittances in 2017. With lowered populations and an influx of dollars back to their economies, the standard of living, rates of crime, and average wages are better than most American metropolitan areas. President of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto, expressed his pleasure to the press after meeting with the presidents of Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. Quote, "Things are looking really great at the moment. The poorest and least educated in the country have all gone to the United States and sending back money to their families to come over with them. The promise of free college for each and every niño in America has helped us reform our education system, so many students have left the schools here. We now are outcompeting the Americans in a number of fields instead of just on the football field like we did in the past. Just across the board, things are looking really good, and it is quite exciting." Experts predict with the current growth rate seen south of the border, along with economic decline in the United States, countries like Mexico and Guatemala will have higher income per capita than the United States in a mere 3 or 4 years. Countries like Honduras and El Salvador are expected to follow soon after that. Juan Guerrero, a recently amnestied immigrant from Panama, also gave his thoughts on the growth seen back in his home country. Things in Panama are "Things in Panama are starting to look much better than Chicago at the moment. The crime is much lower, and there are more economic opportunities. Once I finish my degree in anthropology, the Americans have helped pay for, I might just go back home. With all the money here I've made, I'd still live it rich back in my old village." He did have one reason that would make him rethink his decision to go back to Panama, however. Quote, "If I were to get really sick or had to get a surgery done, I would come back to the United States. The free single-payer healthcare here is really nice. Good thing I have dual citizenship."
So, it's really good that, like, we're reversing what colonialism did to, Latin America. Like, what Christopher Columbus did when he came over is he enslaved the natives. Remember that? He genocided them, he raped them, and all that stuff.
Yeah, he was a terrorist.
And we destroyed these regions of the country for centuries, And now finally, us here in the United States, under the tutelage of Hillary Clinton, has given back to these people. We've, amnestied, which made our country great, because immigrants make this country great. And now they're sending their money back to their home countries, and we're making them great too.
Everybody wins.
Only winning. And, look at what Peña Nieto said. He got to reform the education system because so many of the students there left to come to the United States. So, there's more ability to spread around their resources because their classrooms are smaller. And I don't know. It just sounds good. It sounds like what we should be doing because we're part of a global community. People need to stop thinking about countries or being citizens of countries.
Why do we even have borders?
We don't even really have one here in the United States. But, racist
that is true.
Texas is building a border. They're not going to have any immigrants. They're not going to have any refugees. They're not going to have the benefits of guys like this Juan Guerrero who they're getting college degrees here in America.
What a shitty place to live, that Texas.
Yeah, shitty Texas. It's just... It's light and day between, us and Texas where we are progressively.
It sucks. Texas sucks. But you know what? I have to say, you were mentioning there about the winning, right?
Yes.
Remember Trump, when he was running, he said, "Oh, we're going to have so much winning." You know what? We are having so much winning right now.
We are
except
winning.
It's under President Clinton. So, Madam President, I'm so tired of winning.
I'm tired of winning, too.
Yeah.
We're going to keep winning. We're going to deal with these Russians. Then we're going to go deal with these goddamn Texans. And then we're going to finally be a unified country like we're supposed to be with, completely open borders.
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome. I can't wait for this war thing to be over, dude. I just want to go home to, my girlfriend Amy and my black son Jamal and just, live life how we're supposed to. I thought things were going to be perfect and things are pretty good, but there's still so much pushback in the world,
But you know what? You know what we're forgetting though? The most important thing of all.
What?
We have a female president.
We do have a female president.
And that is the best thing that has ever happened to this country.
We
shattered that glass ceiling.
We shattered the glass ceiling. And that is the hope that gives me the power to stay here in Syria and fight for my country, fight for my girlfriend and her black son, fight for every single refugee. Because we have a female president.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything you want to say, Bobby, before we're done?
Well, all I got to say is, I hope that this war in Alaska ends soon. I hope we kick back those Rusky bears and those
push
Russians.
them back into, Asia.
It'll be fantastic. That's all I got to say is hopefully my Amazon delivery drone will get here soon. Should be here pretty soon. I looked on the little tracker thing they gave me on the website. It said it's a mile away, so it's almost here.
Hopefully you get back to America soon, too,
I need to write my letter here. I need to write it so I can stick it on the drone.
Yeah.
I've got some duct tape here, so it should be good.
And then you could get in on this, big, female singleness.
Yeah.
You could, help women out that way, because you respect women.
Yes.
You respect the hell out of women.
Because women should be respected.
They should be respected.
I guess that's all I have to say.
That's a good thing to say, Bobby. Well, I don't have anything else to say, so I think with that, we can close out the show.
I guess so.
Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Hillary Planet Podcast. It has been a fun one. I've had a fun time, even though I'm in the middle of a war zone. So, what else could be any better,
I mean, I've really got everything here. I've got my fire going in the fireplace. I'm warm under the covers. I've got a fish cooking. I'm pretty happy, but it could be better. I want to be back in America.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
Well, next time we do this show, I promise you, we will likely be in America. Unless the war goes really bad all of a sudden. And then
it's going pretty good right now. No, it's not.
It's give and take, though.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
thing. It's like a roller coaster. There's ups and there's downs. But it's going to go up again, and then it's going to go down again, and it's going to go up again, and then it stops, just like a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, once again, thank you for listening to Hillary Planet Podcast, and have a good one.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.